Another decision we made was to redesign the Witch King, which when I say redesign the Witch King was really his helmet.
John Howe was a big influence on the original helmet design. I did a lot of drawings and sculptures based off the helmets you see in his paintings, which are this very tall bucket, sort of round helmets with the crown of spikes on the top.
But was just too similar to, just looked a little bit too similar to Sauron.
Even people who had worked on the films who hadn't read the book, when they saw footage, thought, does Sauron show up at the battle, doesn't he?
You fool. No man can kill me. Die now.
I think at the end of the day, it was too removed from the Black Riders we'd seen in film 1.
What we came to realise was that in some way we needed to pay design homage back to the wraiths on the horses. So Warren Mahi threw his great sensibilities into it.
I remember Pete saying that he wanted to have a big tall spike that got bigger and bigger and bigger. And if the original designs had small spikes around the outside, that got bigger as well. And he wanted the whole face to feel quite long and, in a sense, resemble the Black Riders. He wanted you to think that underneath that helmet was the hood as well.
You take out eyes.
Start the first move, but obviously don't swing it. We'll just cut it. I like the spikes. The spikes somehow evoke the crown of thorns. I don't know quite what that means, but it kind of he has this ring of spikes, and he just I think the helmet design is really cool actually, and I'm glad that we did it. And it gives him his own specific character and personality. In addition to the helmet, we redesigned his mace.
We had made a mace for the Witch King.
And I looked at the first one that they built and I just said, it's okay, but we need to make it bigger.
Okay, so we made it bigger. And Pete came back and said, no, I need it bigger again. So we made it bigger. And everybody's going, oh my God, this thing's getting huge. It's totally impractical now.
You need a big wrist.
Well, it went from impractical to ridiculous. I mean, this thing was huge.
And I'm like, hey guys, I'm embarrassed to take this on set. I'm going to get laughed off set. This is so ridiculously large.
Oh, Andrew?
Yeah. And so I sort of hid it under my jacket as I walked through all the armour techs onto set so I didn't get a ribbing. And I went up to Pete and I said, look, Pete, this is what we've come up with for the Witch King. Pete gets it. He's flaying it like this. He gets one swing, and then the handle catches in his lapel, and the momentum, he's going around. It's so funny, and it nearly flips him over, and it hits the ground, and it's caught in his jacket. And it's like, you don't think the head's just a little bit too excessive, do you? And he goes, well, I was actually thinking it's about 50% too small, and I'm like, oh no, please.
And it ended up being this enormous cast iron spiked thing.
Some people call it a mace, some people call it a morning star.
Oh God!
Either way, I ended up calling it damned heavy, because it was damned heavy.
It ended up being so large that you actually couldn't pick it up.
Right. And so I'm laying on my back in the scene, and I'm lifting it up into camera shot for him.
Once again, Faith and Pete, when you finally see it in the movie, it is ludicrously large, but it works because it's ludicrously large. I mean, you see that thing, and you see the look on Eowyn's face when she sees it. She's terrified.
I don't think it jars anyone out of the moment. I don't think it stops people to think, God, that's a little daft. I think they just accept it as a piece of Peter Jackson's storytelling.